Our brains are amazing. They process tons of information every second. This information comes from our senses: sight, hearing, touch, smell, and taste. Our brains use this information to understand the world around us. But sometimes our brains get tricked. They misinterpret the information. This is called an illusion. Illusions are like magic tricks for the mind. They show us that our perception of reality is not always accurate. Illusions are not just for fun. Scientists study them to learn how the brain works. By understanding illusions, we can understand how our brains perceive the world. There are different types of illusions. Some trick our eyes, others trick our ears, or even our sense of touch. Our eyes are like cameras. They capture light and send signals to the brain, but the brain doesn't always interpret these signals correctly. This leads to visual illusions. One famous example is the Mueller-Lyer illusion. In this illusion, two lines are the same length, but one line has arrows pointing inwards. The other line has arrows pointing outwards. The arrows make our brains think one line is longer than the other. Another example is the Ames room. This room is a special shape. It makes people look bigger or smaller depending on where they stand. This illusion tricks our brains by messing with our sense of perspective. Our ears pick up sound waves. These waves travel to our brains, where they are interpreted as sounds. But sometimes our brains get confused by what they hear. This leads to auditory illusions. The shepherd tone is a good example. It sounds like a tone that keeps going up and up forever, but it's actually a trick. The tone is made up of many different sounds that repeat in a loop. Another interesting auditory illusion is the McGurk effect. In this illusion, what we see influences what we hear. If we see someone say ga but hear ba, our brains might hear da. This shows how our senses work together to create our perception of reality. Section 4, touch and feel the illusion, tactile illusions. Tactile illusions trick our sense of touch. They make us feel things that aren't really there. One famous example is the rubber hand illusion. In this illusion, a person puts their hand behind a screen. They see a fake rubber hand in front of them. The real hand and the fake hand are stroked at the same time. The person starts to feel like the rubber hand is their own hand. This illusion shows how easily our brains can be tricked into feeling things. Another tactile illusion is phantom limb pain. This happens to people who have lost a limb. They can still feel pain in the limb that is no longer there. This is because the brain still has a map of the missing limb. Even though the limb is gone, the brain can still send pain signals to that area. Tactile illusions show us that our sense of touch is not always reliable. Our brains can create feelings even when there is no physical stimulation. Illusions are fascinating. They teach us about the brain and how it works. By understanding illusions, we can learn to be more aware of the limitations of our senses. So the next time you see, hear, or feel something strange, don't be so quick to believe it. It might just be your brain playing tricks on you.